Order and chaos, the two poles of reality. Order represents structure, tradition, systems, and rules, while chaos represents liberation, novelty, and freedom. The Chinese use the concept of Tao, also known as yin yang symbol, to represent order and chaos. For any functional system, there needs to be a balance between order and chaos, but to attain that equilibrium is very difficult because the two poles struggle to appreciate the value of each other. It has been more than a month since Arundhati Roy was prosecuted. Everyone has something to say about it. The social media is filled with opinions, but few people know what's really going on. Those who know a lot. Most know nothing at all, but yet almost everyone has a passionate opinion. Nobody is neutral. But before forming any opinion, we need to ask ourselves, do we know who Arundhati Roy is? Who is this woman who has always been in news, whether it's about winning the Booker Prize of 1997 and later called as an anti-national? Allow me to put a perspective here. Put your hand in mine and let's walk together through the maze. Do this because we must understand. If you find a reason to disagree, by all the means take the other side. But please don't ignore it. Don't walk away. She doesn't fit into any stereotype. She belongs to a fringe that believes in living life by breaking rules. World describes her as an architect, screenwriter, filmmaker, activist, and writer. Born in Shillong, India, and later moved to Kerala, Roy grew up on the banks of river, and as a child of single mother, she was ill at the ease in the conservative Syrian Christian community from where her mother belongs. She felt more at home among the so-called lower castes or Dalits, who were kept at distance by both Christians and upper-class Hindus. And when she was 16, she ran away from her house and enrolled herself in the Delhi School of Architecture to become financially independent, but also out of idealism. But soon got fed up by the rigidity of education system, and for her final project, Roy refused to design a building and instead wrote a thesis, and her experience in the architecture college comes alive in a film in which Annie gives it those ones. Years later, when she involved herself in filmmaking, but soon realized that writing for cinema was not her thing. Soon after, she wrote her first novel, The God of Small Things, and won the Booker. The country became mesmerized by her. Everyone was talking about her. In one night, she became the poster of New India. She was everywhere, from the news to the posters of the shops, in the conversation of elite people. But soon, she took again an unconventional path. She wrote The End of Imagination, the path-breaking essay, and then followed a couple of other essays which infuriated people as they thought she was speaking against India, and soon they categorized her as an anti-national. And this is where we need to dig deeper. If we dig deeper, we will find that she was just talking about the suffering of people. She is a writer, and being a writer is not only about writing fiction, but for standing for social injustice and speaking for those who don't have a voice. And she was doing the same. She is not an activist, as one journalist called her, to which she replied, I never accepted the added profession of being a writer. The job of a writer is to write about the world they live in without needing to be called activist. In one of her essays, What Do Expert Has to Say, she writes, and I'm quoting her, one is not involved by being a writer or activist, one is involved because one is human being. And whatever is happening with her right now should be condemned. They say she spoke against India, but what they didn't see is she spoke for the people of India, the people of Kashmir. As a writer, she saw their plight and sorrow and talked about it. Tagore in 1908 said, I will never allow patriotism to trumpet over humanity as long as I live. And this is not the first time a writer is talking about something which is conventionally not in the favor of their government. Charles Dickens criticized the Industrial Revolution in almost all of his novels, but it didn't make him anti-national. Rabindranath Tagore hugely criticized Gandhiji's idea of burning foreign goods, and Gandhiji respected his opinion. The job of writers has always been to look deeper into the minds of people, understand human emotion, and speak for them. And Arundhati Roy is not an exception to this. You can read any of her essays, and if you look deep, you will find that the essence of her essays is always about humans, and she has always stood for their plight, whether it is her essay titled The Greater Common Good or The Algebra of Infinite Justice or The End of Imagination or any other one. Time can change, centuries change, but the work of writer will always remain the same. Whether it's 19th century Charles Dickens, the 20th century Rabindranath Tagore, or the 21st century Arundhati Roy. Mind you, the point of this video is to not telling you who is right and who is wrong. I am not saying that government is wrong, nor I am saying that Roy is wrong. What I am trying to say is that for any functional system, there needs to be a balance between the two poles of reality. The one who believes in structure, rules, and the one who believes in emotions, freedom, liberation. Basically, there needs to be a balance between order and chaos. And if not attained, then the devastation of that system is certain. We need to look deeper to understand what's happening and try to see what a grave danger it can cause if writers are prosecuted in the country.